Hi, everyone. Welcome to April's continuing ed class. Tonight is all about greening up our spaces, cleansing your spaces, greening up. There's a lot of ways we can say this. It is one of my absolute favorite things to talk about. So I am going to share my screen. I want you guys all to know while I'm doing this that I recently screenshot. Can you guys see that okay? I recently screenshot Emily Wright's protocol for what she puts on before she goes on stage, and I replicated it. And so if I get a little bit emotional, you'll know why. It's not typically how I roll. It's Emily, and I'll blame it on her. But hopefully this presentation will be helpful and that you'll learn a lot. It really is one of my passions. That's actually not a joke. It's probably the reason I am in doTERRA. I didn't have a gateway oil. I didn't have a magical experience with, I mean, I had amazing experiences with the oils, but I think what drew me to doTERRA was that I was already looking to live a non-toxic life. And this really kind of came alongside and made sense. And it fit in so well that it was a natural fit. And so when we talk about how to cleanse your spaces or your routines or the things that we have in our house, that really is what kind of gets me excited. I love the oils. I love them for all their aspects, but this is kind of my passion. So I have a sidekick in my doTERRA gig named Taylor, and I recommend you guys do this sometime. She helped me with this presentation greatly, and she actually made this screen. And I think it's funny when I was like, I don't even know what to put about myself. Have someone else write your bio sometime and see what they say. So I am a mom to 3 teenage boys. They give us a lot of life and they keep us very busy. I do love the oils. I told you I'm a non-toxic enthusiast, and she put clean freak. Okay, not really, but a nice title for a very clean person. And I'm not a clean freak, but then I was like, but am I? Maybe I am. And I'm okay with this. So I just left it up here. She kind of laughed. I was like, I think we all should let someone else write our bios every once in a while, even if it's a little snippet, because maybe that's just people's perception of you. I'm glad she didn't put some other things on there. So that's me. I didn't put a picture of my family. They're super cute, but this is about me tonight, so I kept them out of it. Okay, so we're gonna start. What is a toxin? I know we throw that word pretty freely around, and a lot of times we're not really clear on what that is. So a toxin is any substance that places undue stress on your body. It's really vague, and that's actually kind of nice because we can sorry, let me just move this. It doesn't have to be specific. And as you're going to find out in this class, there's so many toxins around us that it doesn't really matter what the stress it is or what the chemical is. This is just the broad definition of a toxin. And then next, we always talk about what our toxic load is. But your toxic load is the sum of toxic substances that are accumulated within your body and the burden they place on your vital organs. So everyone's toxic load is a little bit different, and how our bodies actually deal with toxins can vary. So I might be able to deal with certain toxins differently than you might, or maybe yours are more visible. Your symptoms of toxic load are more visible than mine, or vice versa. It doesn't necessarily mean that we aren't all affected by the toxins. It just means that our bodies are all very different. And so we can't ever just throw a broad generalization on what your toxic load should look like, because we're all uniquely made, or we have unique toxic load ability. Is that a thing? Okay, so the next question is, does your toxic load really matter? I mean, that's, a lot of times when I think through some of the things I want to change, I have these thoughts in my head of well, I don't actually really notice a difference. Maybe it really doesn't make a difference to your skin what kind of detergent you're using. Maybe it doesn't, maybe you're not noticing what eating organic foods is, or all the different little shifts we can make. Maybe you're not seeing something visible, but I want you to see just a very small list of some of the ways that our toxic load actually affects us. And I would just encourage you to look at that. This is not exhaustive by any stretch, but it does actually give you it's not necessarily something you can see. And it's also not something that you can necessarily correlate, something that is obvious. If you're using a lotion on your left arm and you get a rash on your left arm, you're going to know something is probably wrong with that lotion. But that's not how it works with all toxins. And that's not really how we deal with them globally in our body. And then I would also just say that a lot of the toxic chemicals in our household stuff that we're going to talk about tonight are what we call endocrine disruptors, which means they disrupt your hormones. And our hormones regulate every bodily function in our body. And so I don't want to minimize anything. If you don't see a symptom there that you're not experiencing, that doesn't mean that you don't need to care about your toxic load. That means that you may not be aware of the actual effects of the toxins in your home. So hopefully that wasn't too wordy for you, but I'm going to move on. Okay, so we can't avoid every toxin out there. Actually, I was just telling you about my cousin Taylor, who helped me with this. She's like my sister. We talk all the time, but we talk about our lightening our load a lot. She has small kids, I have big kids, and we toss this back and forth to each other, like this 80-20 rule. Like if 80% of the time you can get it well, then you can kind of let go of the 20%. Because we can't avoid toxins out there. You're going to go outside and breathe in what you think is fresh air, and there's toxins in that air. So you just have to do the best with what you can do, and you can't do better until you know better. And so hopefully tonight I'm going to help you know a little bit better. Okay. Air quality. So I'm going to focus on 4 broad categories. And when I say your spaces, like I typically am thinking home because I'm usually home. That's my office. That's where I live. That's my space. Maybe yours is your home and your office. Maybe you're in your car all the time. So you can take this and kind of apply it to the space. But we're going to talk about 4 broad categories. Some are specific to home, but we're going to start with air quality. So chances are that your indoor air is worse than the outdoor air that you breathe. There are things called VOCs, that stands for volatile organic compounds. They're toxic air pollutants, and our homes are full of them. Everything they finish our furniture with, the glues in your carpet, the varnish on your wood floor. It doesn't have to be something that you're spraying in your home. It's literally just in things that are off-gassing in your home. So if you see at the bottom, they're in paint, gasoline, solvents, inks, glues, magic markers. And I was trying to make you think big because, we can all eliminate magic markers maybe, but we can't really eliminate what the builders did to build our homes. And so these are constantly in your air at your house or in your office or wherever or even your car. So I wanted to focus on a few things that you can do to improve your air quality. And I'm going to start with one of the obvious is to diffuse. Diffusing oils, whatever property the oil that you're diffusing has, is actually going to apply to what it's doing to the air around you. So if you're diffusing oils that have any sort of antiseptic or antimicrobial or antiviral properties, it's going to help clean your air of those things while you diffuse them. And I find that the hardest part about diffusing is that we forget to do it. We have them, they're plugged in. I don't know if yours is by your bed. I don't know if yours is in your living room. This is one area I'm going to improve. I'm going to try to be really transparent. For a long time, I had a very not strict, that's not the right word. I was just very disciplined. And I always had a pitcher in my kitchen. I have lots of diffusers. I won't deny that. And while I was drinking my water before I made my morning coffee, I literally just made it a routine of mine to go fill all the diffusers and start diffusing something I'd want to diffuse every morning. I did it for months. And I'm out of the habit right now. Like I diffuse here and there, but it was like, it takes no time at all. It's literally just actually purposing to do it every single day. And it could be your office. This could be in your car. It's not hard. It's just the hardest thing for us in terms of actually using our diffusers. So for me, I put my pitcher in my kitchen, and it's just an easy way for me to help improve the air quality in our home. But also the nice thing is that there's a million different other reasons to diffuse. It helps with our immunity. It helps open our airways. It helps, with our moods. It helps us focus. It gives us energy. I mean, there's just so many things. So whenever I'm diffusing, I know that I'm not just it's multi-purposed. So maybe you can purpose to do it yourself. I did making this presentation this week. I thought I'm going to get that picture back out. And then I would say the next level. So I'm going to we're all on a continuum, right? We're all on a journey and learning how to live a non-toxic life. And none of us are in the same place and none of us have arrived. So I may do more than you and you may do more than your neighbor, but we're all kind of on this journey doing it at our own pace. And so I'm going to have different levels of tips. The next level, I would say, consider an air purifier for your home. I recently got Air Doctors. It's a brand of an air purifier, and I'm always shocked when it automatically regulates its speed. And sometimes it just kicks to a higher speed and nothing seemingly changed in my house. And so it's just an added layer of cleanliness in our home. I'm not saying you have to have one. I'm just saying, like, if you do all these things and you're looking for the next level, maybe you want to consider those. Okay, in terms of diffusing, I think this is one of the main keys. The better you know your oils and the properties they have, the more you're going to know what to diffuse. So if you want to screenshot this, this is just a sampling of oils. It's 10 oils. It actually is the 10 oils in the Aroma Essential Kit. But it's nice to know what kind of, emotional effect you're going to have with diffusing. All of the oils have some form of cleansing property, some more than others. But this is kind of nice just so that you can know a little bit more about what you're diffusing. And if you don't know, then I would say, hold on, I'm gonna bend over to get this book so you can see. Get a resource. Like, I can't tell you, if you don't have a book like Modern Essentials or Essential Life, I think is what it's called, but you have essential oils, you're doing yourself a disservice, I promise you, because you might be using lemon, lavender, and peppermint for your allergies, but you have no idea all the ways you can be using them in other ways. You didn't know that you could use lavender to help with a burn or a sunburn or cuts. And so not only for diffusing, just knowing some of the oils that you use routinely, if you just know a little bit more about them, you can use them more effectively. So, okay, another way to clean your air is plants. This is not new. This has been studied. Even NASA explored this. I've listed 3 specific plants. They are not the only ones that help clean the indoor air. But I love some of the stats here. Like if you look at bromeliad, it says 80% of each of those compounds out of the tropical plants strip more than 80% of each of the compounds out of the air within a 12-hour time frame. Yes, you have to be a little careful. You don't want root rot. You don't want to overwater them and create a mold problem. But when you think about the ways that these could help clean your air, and they're easy to take care of. Like, I can't tell you, I have this is not on here, but a spike plant. It's right above my head, right there. That thing, I wish I could turn my computer around so you can see I have another one right on the corner of my desk. I happen to love plants. I could probably get a new pot, and it's prolific. So I feel like once you have one, yes, they're expensive to go out and buy, but once you have one, they start to you can separate them and then create more plants, and they just keep on growing. So if you're not a plant person, I would say read some websites. There's some really low maintenance ones. They're really pretty, all the things. That does not go there. So that's interesting. Well, oh yeah, it does. Never mind. Sorry, I thought I was going to the garden section. So there are essential oils that can even help you with unwanted pests. If you've ever gotten a bad batch of potting soil or something just starts to eat one of your plants, you can diffuse citronella, TerraShield, or peppermint nearby. It will ward off the plants. Sometimes I get some of those sticky papers and I put them in my plant and then I diffuse just to draw them out a little bit, drop some peppermint. Sometimes I even water my plants with peppermint in the water. So a couple ideas for you there. Okay, so now I've told you some things you can do for air quality. This is where it gets a little bit dicey. Some of you are going to get a little bit angry with me, but this is where I'm going to tell you what you need to ditch. And here's a list: air fresheners, candles, perfumes, plugins, any sort of plugins that isn't a plug-in diffuser from doTERRA, if you're lucky enough to have one of those, car air fresheners, scented lotions and soap, aerosol hair products, literally anything that you smell that you're using that gives off a very strong aroma that you know is not natural, you should probably ditch it. I'm just gonna say that right now. I know you might be really married to your Glade plug-in scent. It doesn't matter. It's not good for you. It's messing with your hormones. It's messing with your health, even if you don't know it. And I can promise you our oils smell better. So whatever you think that you really can't live without, maybe the ambiance of a flower, of a candle, I get that. I would tell you there are candles you can burn. They're not cheap. They're 100% beeswax. I have one that if I'm desperate for a little bit of candle, I burn it. But I really like when you walk by those stores in the mall, the reason why so many people get a headache, there is no mistaking it. It's not because they smell great and everyone should have them. It's because they're toxic. So Beth, I love this. I used to burn candles on the regular, and I'm so happy I have oils to diffuse now. I also find like sometimes if it's a wintry night, which hopefully I'm done with those, sometimes I want that candly feel, but your diffusers, most of them come with a light, and some of the newer ones have even like a flicker. And so there's a way to get the ambiance without compromising your health. So I know this is never good news. I don't know which or if you're addicted to any of these. I would just say it's time to break up with them. And I promise this is not the last time I'm going to say that tonight. So I'm sorry, but not sorry. Okay, the next kind of genre we're going to hit is the cleaning. Our cleaning products are so toxic. When you walk down that aisle at the grocery store, those are not the oils you want. There are very few there that you want. It's kind of like the candle store. When it smells that strong, you just know something's not great. Oh, Beth, that is really great. I actually have these too. Battery candles do work for the ambiance, and I have them. I put them out at Christmas especially. You have to remember to change the battery, but that's a great tip. Thanks, Beth. Okay, there are more than 80, wow, I can't even read, 80,000 toxic chemicals on the market in the US. Just take that in for a minute. 80,000 toxic chemicals are on the market. So then let's whittle it down to 3,000. Of the 3,000 high volume chemicals used in excess of 1 million pounds per year. So now we're just talking about 3,000 of the 80,000. Only 7% of those are tested for safety. So eliminating these is one of the very easiest ways to clean your space up. Just getting them out of your house. This is a little known fact. Women, well, mostly women, this is so stereotypical, I guess, but women typically are the housekeepers in the world. Housekeepers have a very, very high, what's the word I'm looking for? The oils Emily gave me are not working, like rate of cancer. And they're finding that the one thing all these women have in common is the cleaning products they're using. So obviously they use it extremely. They're using it for their career. They're doing it every single day, and that's how they make money. And I'm not faulting them for that at all, but isn't it interesting that when that is what they're exposing themselves all the time to, that they're actually having a higher incident, that's the word I was looking for, of cancer. So all those carcinogens, all the nastiness in there are real, they really do affect your body. So we're gonna dive into cleaning. Here are some easy swaps to make. doTERRA has a whole abode line. They have some On Guard cleaners. I use all of this. It is so easy to swap out all the, like you think about all the, let me just personalize this. When I think about all the cleaners I used to buy, I used to have Pine Sol for my floors, and I used to have a bathroom scrubber for the toilet, and then one for the shower, and then I had glass cleaner. Like there were so many, and this is so simple. I literally use doTERRA Abode on everything. I make my own glass cleaner. So I can clean my bathrooms with what you see here, plus what I clean my glass with, which is vinegar, water, and lemon. It's not hard. It actually simplifies it all for you, and it's so effective. So I would just urge you. I have this conversation with my grandparents almost every time I visit them of like, you don't need all this, and it's not good for you. We're going to talk about a few of the like recipes that you can use to make them if you want to make your own. I'm not a very good DIYer at this stage in my life. So I realized that maybe making liquid dish soap would be more cost effective than buying it. But for me, I'm going to buy it. And I love that I can trust doTERRA's brands. Okay, so here are some recipes for different things you can use. I want to say this. If you love doing this, then by all means make them. If you don't, I think this actually complicates it. Like, I'm not trying to diss this. I love all of them, and they all use some of the same ingredients, but I wanted to grab the bin that I carry around to all my bathrooms when I clean. It's small, and I have room for about 5 to 10 more things in there because you just don't need it. So like, for instance, when I clean a toilet, I spray it with a Bode and I wipe it all down, and then I put baking soda and oil and a squirt of On Guard concentrate, and I scrub it, and then I put vinegar in there because I love a good science experiment. It gets all foamy, I scrub it again. It's kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. It's disappointing when it doesn't foam up, and I might put some more baking soda in just to get it. But it's so easy. So if you love to have these things and you just want something specific for cleaning whatever you're cleaning, by all means, make these. But if you're not into this, I would just say this doesn't need to be complicated. So I do make a dusting spray as well. Mine has a little bit of water in it. This was a new recipe for me. Couldn't find the one that I make. So I do have a few that I make that are just unique to what I'm actually doing. But I would say probably the only two things that I have that aren't something I buy from doTERRA are a dusting spray and glass spray. So, okay, moving on in the cleaning department. Here are some additional tips to cleaning your space. I'm going to get a little personal again. Remove your shoes in your house. Your shoes are disgusting. I don't care if you don't go walking where dogs poop. You're probably walking to your car on asphalt, which is toxic in and of itself. It's got oil from car leaks. I mean, there's no telling to the amount of junk you're bringing into your home because you wear your shoes in your house. It may not be convenient. It may not be an easy shift, but it's really nice when you don't do it. And then I would tell you, it's a little bit stressful when people come over because you have to figure out how to ask them nicely to take their shoes off. Because once you don't have your junk in your house, you don't want their junk in your house either. So that is a really easy, I mean, that's so easy, and you can eliminate so many things from coming in, because what happens is we all know that we put oil on the bottom of our feet. Well, you walk around your house barefoot, and as you walk around, just the way your feet absorb oils, they're absorbing toxins that you didn't have to bring into your home. So I'm going to leave that there. Declutter your home. I know this doesn't really feel like decluttering is a hygiene issue, but it really is. When you move the knickknacks, whatever, your decor, your extra clothes, the things you haven't worn, the jeans you wish you could fit into, trust me, I've had them. I got rid of them. I'm embracing the jeans I'm in today, and you should too. It actually removes dust, and the toxins that live in dust. So it's not simply clearing your space. There are tons of studies about how much more peace and less anxiety and easier it is to tackle things, even in your office. The more cluttered your office is, the less you're apt to get done. And so I would say decluttering is actually one of the first things that I do. This is so awkward. My oldest son is calling me and I want to, sorry. It's really weird when you have kids who drive. That was a real distraction, and I'm really sorry. But when your 18-year-old calls you, you're like, I hope you're okay. Please call your dad. I hope he does that. So declutter. That's actually one of the first things I do when I come into my office, because I know if I'm going to be working in my office, it literally drives me crazy to have stuff around. So you can do that. There's lots of tips on decluttering. You can do it with, a bag or a basket. You can get online. There's tons of tips. Flipping your hangers in your closet and hanging it the right way when you actually wear something, so you know what you are and aren't wearing. Keep it simple and keep to a routine. I think that's the biggest tip I could give with keeping up with your house, right? Like, just keep it simple and keep a routine, because when you have a routine, it's like my picture with my diffusers. It's just what you do. You don't even think about it. It's not like, oh, I have to do whatever. It's just part of what you do. And then lastly, I have put 25 drops of essential oil on your air filters in your furnace or air conditioner when you change it, and do that at least every 3 months. Okay, so I do follow a weekly schedule. Like I said, I have 3 boys, and they all play baseball, and we're not here very often, and I don't like messes. And I like clean bathrooms. And did I mention I live with 3 teenage boys? So I do this every week, and mine does not look exactly like this. I follow a girl. I'm going to give credit to her. It is Clean Mama, and I followed her for years. And so I'm not taking credit for this. I follow her system, and I've kind of adapted it to my life. So what I love about her is that she's like, you can have a clean house and not do it all in one day. No one wants to clean a house on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. No one wants to do that on Monday. No one wants to do that on any day that ends with Y, right? So, but if you do one thing every single day, and I can tell you, like, I can get my bathrooms done because I clean them every week very quickly. None of this takes any great amount of time. You know, if you know me, you know that on Mondays I wash my sheets and towels and I do bathrooms. That's what I do. It's just what I do. But I can tell you when I started following a schedule, my house was cleaner. I wasn't complaining about how someone else cleaned my house because I don't clean it like I do. And I was happier. So if this speaks to you, take a screenshot, look her up. I think the more often we can get some of this junk out of our house, also the less exposure our bodies have. And then there's daily tasks. I really broke this down for you in case any of you are digging on this. Most of you are probably like, oh my gosh, I don't want to clean. Stop telling me this, but I'm not done yet. So daily tasks, making your bed, check the floors, wipe counters, pick up your clutter. And she suggests you do a load of laundry every day. I don't do that. I do laundry all day, one day, and then I'm done for the week. So, but that's because it fits my life. And then monthly tasks. These are the ways that we can get dirt and toxins just kind of accumulated in our house because we don't do this. So she says monthly. I added my own bi-monthly, maybe quarterly, because let's be real. How many of us are going to get down on our hands and knees and clean our baseboards every single month? Not me. So I'm realistic. She says you can pick this. So I kind of, you can read through this. I'm not going to read through this, but it's very much like, it's very straightforward. So if you just say like, hey, this month I'm going to do these 3 things, and next month I'm going to do those 3 things, and then I'm going to do the rest on the next month, and then I'm going to cycle back around. I admittedly am not good at this. I'm very good at my weekly tasks. I'm marginally good at my daily tasks, and I'm horrible at the monthly ones. So just to remind you that I'm also on a journey with you. I still have a lot of improvements to make, and I need the reminders. And sometimes, like if I need something, just like I just need, let's say I need to get my pantry cleaned out. I will listen to a book that's enjoyable. So I feel like it's like a guilty pleasure. I'm working, I'm actually getting to listen to a book. So find something you love to do. If you like podcasts, listen to podcasts, turn on some good music, diffuse some great oils. You won't be sorry. Okay, that was all for cleaning. Now we're going to tackle laundry, which I do find, I'm not going to lie, is a very touchy subject for a lot of you. You guys are really married to some of the things you're using in your laundry room. And so I am going to just go ahead and start with what you need to ditch. And there they are. And there is more. Detergents, fabric softeners, laundry boosters, bleach, stain removers. I promise there are better options. Not only is this going into your washing machine and in all of your clothes, but then you're putting it on your skin. And I just want to remind you that your skin is your largest organ. So you're putting it on your skin, and maybe you have eczema and it's on your skin, and maybe it is related to this, but maybe there's something else going on that you'll never know if you don't just kick it. So I'm not trying to step on your toes, but I am trying to at the same time. And I want to just add, I was probably the last thing I kicked in this whole group was dryer sheets. I loved Bounce. I loved the way they smelled. I loved how soft everything came out. I love all that stuff. I just want to tell you what I learned a little bit of what I've learned about Bounce. It has animal fat in there. That softness on your clothes is animal fat. That's helping, not only is it making your clothes soft, which is a side benefit, I guess, it's making stains harder to get out, because I don't know if you've noticed, but if you spill grease on something, it doesn't come out as well. And so, and then on top of that, it has all the chemicals and all of the endocrine disruptors. So ditch it. I promise. You can still have really yummy smelling oils. I'm going to give you some tips on how. Okay. We're going to start with the obvious, detergent, and doTERRA makes this so easy on us. Like, we have 2 options. They have the laundry pods, and they have the On Guard laundry detergent. We use both in my house. I will say, if you use a laundry pod, I would recommend putting the laundry pod in your dishwasher, or your dishwasher. Don't put the laundry pod in your dishwasher, put it in your washing machine. But I put it in first. That way you can make sure that all the suds and it dissolves. So, and then put all your clothes in it. Sometimes if I have a large load and I put it on top, I have a little bit of the powder afterwards. So just my own tip. And then I just want to mention this website, ewg.org. If you want to make your own, great. There's tons of recipes. If you want to try a different brand, I'm not knocking that. I will say, check it on this website. So it stands for Environmental Working Group, I believe. And you can go on there and look for the product that you are looking at. Let's say you're looking at, I don't know, I can't even think of one, doTERRA. But if you look at it, it'll rate it. It'll give you its toxic like grade. For instance, I have baseball pants, and I had a friend who was like, you can get those whiter. And I was like, well, I bought them so they could get them dirty. Like the whole point of baseball pants is that they're going to go out and slide in the dirt. So why am I stressed out about if I'm going to get them clean? Well, she wanted me to use this bar soap called Fells Naphtha, and it got a C. And I was like, well, maybe I'll try it. It was a C, not an F, and it wasn't an A. And I'm telling you, 80-20, right? Like, let's just be honest. But I will tell you, it stinks so bad. And I still haven't put it in a baggie and put it away or thrown it away because it didn't work, for one, and it smells so bad, so bad. So if you're looking at another product, just make sure you're checking it. Like, do your due diligence, because you want to make sure you're making a good choice for you and your family. And I know that the doTERRA is not the only brand. So I'm not ignorant, but maybe you could look up your Bath's dryer sheets and see what they score and then read their warnings. Like, it's pretty, I mean, it's a good website. So, and you can use it for any product. You can use it for sunscreens or makeup or cleaners. And so it's a great, Michelle just actually linked it. It's ewg.org. It's awesome. Thank you for doing that for me. Okay, I do this all the time, DIY fabric softener. This is an official recipe, but I will tell you, that's why I put the pro tip. I don't follow this. I literally have a big mason jar like this, and I fill it with vinegar, and then I put copious amounts of wild orange in it, and I put it in as a fabric softener, and I put it in where I put bleach. And my laundry smells good. I do not smell the vinegar when I'm done, but I do smell the wild orange. So, then on top of that, I have dryer balls in my dryer. That's what these, I don't know if you can see my cursor. Oops, right here. Those are dryer balls. doTERRA sells them. You can get them other places that they're made of wool, and they are very nice because you can put them in your dryer and they kind of help keep everything separated. So it's not perfect, but like, think about when you dry sheets, you know, when you get your sheets out at 9 p.m. and it's time to go to bed, and you realize that your flat sheet is wadded up in your fitted sheet and it's still wet. Well, dryer balls kind of help to keep like things separated so things dry faster, and it helps with static cling. I'm not very good at this, but you can put essential oils on there. So if you're really looking for a specific smell, or there's an oil you love, put that oil on put 4 or 5 drops on a couple of those dryer balls and then dry it, and you will have it. It will not be as strong or overwhelming as some of the detergents. You all have friends that you go out with and you're like, ooh, you smell fresh. And it doesn't smell bad necessarily, it's just overwhelming. And it won't be like that, but it does smell so good. And then you know that you're not harming your body or that of your family. Stain removal. These are my secret weapons. I meant to grab this too. I put the On Guard concentrate in a spray bottle, the purple one that you can get on doTERRA. It's like the continuous spray one. And I use it as my stain treatment on clothes. And then when I need to, sometimes I use lemon. And those are my 2 things that I use before I put them in the washing machine. But when it doesn't come out all the way, sometimes I put stuff in the sun, and people don't talk about this enough. And I am fortunate, I live very close to the sun. So we burn faster and our clothes get whiter faster. Hold on one second. Sun was setting and I had weird lines. So it has to be sunny. That's kind of a prerequisite. So, I mean, the sun still shines. It is better when it's sunny. But I will put my stuff out. I don't have a clothesline, but I'll lay it out on the grass, and it does brighten my clothes. It's not always perfect. But then on top of it, if you dry your clothes outside, not only does it help lift those stains, but it cuts down on your electric usage, and the sun helps kill bacteria. And I love this because there are some things that you know what they are that you have to really work to get the stink out of, like kitchen towels. So if I can't get it out that way, I'll put it in the sun, and I just don't dry my clothes in the dryer until I have the stains worked out the way I think that it's the best they're going to get. Oh yes, and Trisha just said if you put a large safety pin to the dryer ball, it reduces static. I do this. We have very little humidity here in Colorado, so I have this on one of my dryer balls. I need to do a couple of them because when my kids do their laundry, I don't always get all of the dryer balls back into the dryer. So that is an awesome tip. That is one great one. Okay. This is the last category I'm going to talk about, and it is the yard and garden. We talk about how important it is to get outside. I mean, one of the tips I meant to put in here and I didn't, I'm going to tell you this now, is that in order to clean your inside air, this goes way back to the first category. Just opening a window or two for 10 to 15 minutes really helps the air quality in your home. Yes, I know some of you live where it's cold. I do too. So I know sometimes it's not really enjoyable, but it's worth it. So it's the time of year where we're all going to get outside more, hopefully, right? We're all itching to get outside. If you live in Florida or somewhere beautiful, I don't really want to hear about it. No, I'm just joking. You can. But for some of us who live in the north, we're just now opening our windows and getting outside. And so I'm also going to start here with things that it's time to ditch in our yards, in our gardens. Because whatever we have in our yards and gardens, especially if you're growing food. So number one, if you go out in your yard, you're going to track it into your house. It's kind of like what's on the bottom of your shoe. It just is coming back in. And then it's coming in, it's going into your body, it's going into your home. And if you're gardening and eating it, it's going into your body through your food as well. So here are just a few of the things that need to go. Roundup weed killer. You can do your own research on Monsanto and the lawsuits that have ensued. I know this is really touchy. I have my next door neighbor whom I love. He's amazing. He's like, you know, you can kill those weeds in your grass. You just need some Roundup. I'm like, yeah, I don't use it. He's like, why? He can't comprehend it. And it wasn't a conversation we're going to have, but we're having it here today. And you're here for a reason. So I'm just going to say these things. Chemical fertilizers. There are ways to fertilize. I actually just read this today. If you put a bag of dry soybeans in water and you let it soak, there is, I think it's phosphorus that the water absorbs from this dry soybeans, and then it's a natural fertilizer. I was like, that's fascinating to me. I could have gone on and on and on in this segment of how to do this better in your home. So I'm just going to do an overview, but there's tons of resources out there. And for as many as you can find that say, there's no reason why you shouldn't use Roundup, and there's no reason why you can't spray toxic bug sprays. And of course you would want off for when it's mosquito season. There are as many websites to tell you otherwise. So trash those ones and keep digging. I promise it's out there. So weed killers, fertilizers, bug sprays, insect repellents, sunscreens, I was just trying to think about the things we use when we are outside. I just caught one of the comments of like, don't be jealous of Florida. It's already 90. And I'm like, I'm jealous, but I appreciate you trying to tell me it wasn't good. Okay, I digress. Here are a couple of recipes. If you're looking for a recipe for your yard, here, the one on the right, natural weed killer. I use this. I actually also love going out in the summer and pulling weeds. Like, it's therapeutic for me. It's not the funnest chore, but I get outside, I'm getting my vitamin D. It's usually before my kids are up. It's quiet and I just get it done. But there are some you can't get out. So I use that natural weed killer. I will tell you, it will kill good stuff because it's not just singling out weeds. So if you're spraying dandelions on your grass, it's going to kill the grass. My dog already does a good job of that too. So the ant repellent, if you want a fun experiment with your kids this summer, if you have small children, my kids probably wouldn't love this anymore, but you know, when ants form that like long train and they like, you know, scurry along one line, drop a drop of peppermint is fascinating. I mean, it really is, because you drop a drop of peppermint on this like very straight line and they like, they just disperse. So I actually I love using things that are natural. If you want to attract bees, then there's a pollen attractor. I'm all about my bees. I have one bush that bees absolutely love. I dream of having bees and having honey, but I don't have that yet. So here are just a few things. Again, this is a sampling of recipes. There's so many other things out there. So I don't know what your specific, problem is in your yard or your garden, but let's do better. Like, let's just do better, because it's more fun to be outside when we know we're not getting toxic chemicals in our system. Okay, and then I know this really isn't about greening up your space, but this is a gardener's survival kit. And I just think part of learning to use our oils effectively is actually just remembering how to use them for the things that we're using something else for. So like when you're hot, peppermint on the back of your neck, on the back of your knees, or on the inside of your elbow does amazing things. And now that we have Supermint, try Supermint. It's also amazing. Too much sun, use lavender. Like maybe let's give up on the lidocaine or whatever we used to use in the 80s. Bug sprays, like if TerraShield's not doing it for you, it doesn't always do it for me with mosquitoes. But then I just go and add other oils that do. Like bugs don't like peppermint, and peppermint is not in TerraShield. So maybe you just layer it with some peppermint. So these are just some reminders of like, let's reach for things in our daily routines, which we're going to talk more about routines next week, but next month. Let's reach for things in our daily routines that are harming our body and disrupting our hormones and causing cancer and doing the things that we don't really want going on. Okay. Let's see. I haven't been able to watch the screen, but I see a lot of people talking about flames. And if you know me, you know that I love fire. And so I'm really intrigued and I can't wait to read more about that because I feel like I'm going to love it. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up with this. This is the challenge I have for you. I want to remind you that big changes happen one change at a time. Like it doesn't matter what you're doing in life, being a better anything, a better athlete, a more patient person. It doesn't happen because we just determined one day, I'm going to do this and it happens. So I just want to remind you that this starts on a daily, like this is a small thing at a time. It's the little decisions that pile upon each other that make big change. And I just want to remind you, sometimes that the biggest decision you could make could be just to break up with a bad boyfriend that you have living in your house that is not doing your hormones well. And by boyfriend, I don't mean your actual boyfriend. That's not what I'm saying. So this is my challenge for you this month. That we talked about 4 qualities: air quality, cleaning, laundry, gardening. And I don't want to be presumptuous. Maybe some of you don't have a yard. So I just said, let's pick 3 of the 4 categories. If you do, then I would up the ante and say, let's pick 2 things out of every single category and just make a change this month. And it doesn't have to be the big ones. Like there were some in there that was like, open your window for 15 minutes or fill your diffusers. It's not like, I'm not asking you to spend 17 hours in your home to make it a cleaner place. Maybe you want to, and that is totally cool. But that isn't what the challenge is. The challenge is just to make small improvements in different categories so that we can have kind of a bigger impact on the whole. So pick 3 of the 4 categories. So let's say air quality, cleaning, and laundry, and then make 2 changes in that category. And some of you may be doing really well and you don't have anything to change. Like I don't really have anything to change in my laundry. I just don't. I've been doing this long enough, but I can tell you, like, I do need to, like I told you, I need to fill my diffusers. I need to do some of the things I know to do and I'm just not doing. And so you can decide that. And then I would just encourage you to share it with somebody, because sometimes it just takes someone saying, hey, I tried this and it was really awesome and you should try it too, to make someone else do something on their own. Like you might be the change someone needs to see to make a change in their own life, is what I'm trying to say there. So, and that is all I have for this, for the actual class. I'm looking forward to next month asking you, as we wait for class to start, what things you did this month to help green up your space, clean it up. I'm looking forward to hearing all the ways you've done that. And so let's go. It's already April 6th, so we really need to get a jump on things. Okay, now we're going to do a giveaway. So I had a real hard time figuring out what to give away because we talked about a lot of different things. And so I'm doing this for 2 people tonight. I'm giving away 1 lemon, 1 purify, and then a laundry pod and a dishwasher pod. 2 sets of these. And that's really nice because I just actually went to go try to buy some laundry pods this month and they're not in stock right now. So it'll be like a bonus that most people can't even get their hands on this month or for however long. I don't know how long it's actually going to be out of stock, but oops. Okay, so Taylor, are you on here? Taylor is going to do, Taylor's my sidekick I was telling you all about, who did my bio. Oh, I need to stop sharing. Taylor?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Yeah, perfect.
Really? Am I sharing my screen? I thought I clicked it. I don't know. Am I not sharing it? Oh.
We just see your face and it is beautiful.
Carrie, can you give me magical powers, please?
I did that in the beginning, but let's see. Oh, yeah, look at it like undid. Okay.
It's because I was on 2 devices because I was nursing a
Oh,
baby.
gotcha. Okay,
Sorry.
there you go.
Thank you. All right. How about now? Okay, perfect. All right. I think we'll see if there's music. I really hope so. I forgot to check.
Whoa.
Michelle, that was a real, I was on the seat of my edge or edge of my seat or the seat of my edge, whatever. You guys knew. Michelle, are you on here? You're the first winner.
If you're on, Michelle, let us know. I can also try to check here.
Can you hear me? I'm on.
Oh, yep, we hear you. Okay, perfect. Congratulations. And then I just want to tell you guys, I'm going to send my, I'm going to put my email in the chat. If you'll just email me your address and information, I'll get that right out to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Taylor, one more.
And one more. Sorry, there's no music.
It's fine. You're enough music for us.
Yeah, I should sing for you all. Teresa Collins, are you on? Congratulations.
Teresa? Yep, she's on. All right, Teresa, hopefully you saw my email. I'm going to type it in there one more time. At iCloud.com. Okay. Sorry, okay. Awesome. Thank you, Taylor. And congratulations, you guys. Hope you enjoy lemon and purify. I didn't tell you this. Lemon and purify are actually 2 of my very favorite oils to use while I clean, which is why I picked them. I meant to say that. Okay, I'm going to share my screen one more time. It's not working. Okay, it's not letting me share my screen. I don't know if that's because something changed when you did that, Carrie. So I am just going to go add, I'm just going to ad lib it.
Okay. Oh, goodness. Do you want me to try again? Yeah, I don't know why. It's showing you as still a co-host, but that's okay. You can ad lib.
Okay. Not really sure what's going on with this. Just to help you all. So I had some really cute slides too, because it's spring and I'm trying to channel my inner springness. But
Oh, bummer.
we have a couple final announcements. That's all. So if you are a visual person, just write this down and make a note. We have a couple really exciting announcements, actually. I know all of you love doTERRA. That's why you're on here. You love your products. And I want to tell you that there's a new program. It's a referral program where people who love to share the product can actually share the product as a referral and get 20% back in doTERRA dollars to your account. And it is not, it does not require you to be an advocate. It doesn't require that you upgrade your account. It doesn't require that you give your social security card or security number, excuse me. Oh, look at you. Who's doing this? Something is happening. Oh, it's Taylor. Wow, I wasn't lying when I told you she was my sidekick, guys. She makes big things happen. So the referral program is great. So if you've had someone like your mom or your daughter or your best friend that you're like, you need to try some of this, ask the person who signed you up about the referral program. It's really awesome. It's an easy way for you to get kind of the perk of sharing without the responsibility of building and doing this as a job. And on top of that, doTERRA has given us the opportunity to waive enrollment fees. And so not only can you share with people and get perks in your account in the form of doTERRA dollars, which will help you with your LRP, but also they don't have to pay the $35 membership fee. So just to let you know. And then lastly, our next class is May 4th. We're going to kind of like push this to the next level, and it's going to be all about cleansing your routines. So if you want to mark your calendar, actually you do want to mark your calendar, it's going to be a good one. We're kind of going to just keep pushing on how we're going to green up our life, but more in like what your routines are. So I don't know exactly what that is, but if I could envision it, it's probably like your beauty routine and all the different things, the ways that we can actually make that a little greener. So those are my final announcements. Taylor, you can stop sharing the screen if you would like. Thank you all for being here and for putting up with me telling you what you needed to throw away. I've loved every minute. hopefully you got some good tips, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next month. So Carrie, if you want to stop recording.
All right, here we go.